My brothers and sisters, may the Lord be with you. A reading from the Holy Gospel according to Luke. Jesus rejoiced in the Holy Spirit and said, I give you praise, Father, Lord of heaven and earth. For although you have hidden these things from the wise and the learned, you have revealed them to the childlike. Yes, Father, such has been your gracious will. All things have been handed over to me by my Father. No one knows who the Son is except the Father, and who the Father is except the Son, and anyone to whom the Son wishes to reveal him. Turning to the disciples in private, he said, Blessed are the eyes that see what you see. For I say to you, many prophets and kings desired to see what you see but did not see it, and to hear what you hear but did not hear it. The Gospel of the Lord. The image of paradise, as initially suggested in the book of Genesis, tells us of a place where everything is in harmony, where there's full integrity, where all portions work together, not against one another, but together for the sake of each other. And surely that must have been an ideal place, and one which sadly we lost precisely because of selfishness on the part of humankind, that they weren't satisfied to being part of that paradise. They wanted themselves to become like God or God. And of course, ever since then, it's been an ongoing battle between the flesh and the spirit as people continue to try to put God aside and take over his role in the midst of the world. And so that integrity and harmony that's spoken of then becomes the great promise and pledge and the hope for the future. And we see many examples in the Old Testament and in turn in the New Testament where it's just told to us. Today we get this very poetic remembrance of a harmonic place of a paradise as Isaiah talks about the lion and the wolf sitting down together and the child being able to play in the adder's lair and all these various parts of creation working with each other as opposed to against each other. And ironically, almost the same kind of image is portrayed for us in the fifth eclogue of the book of Virgil, where he talks essentially in the same kind of categories of waiting for that great peace to take place. Well, the peace still isn't here, but the beginning of the peace is here. And the beginning of the peace is ultimately the interior peace that only the Lord can give. And so we see in the gospel today as Jesus talks to the disciples, saying how blessed you are that you see what many wanted to see and hear what many wanted to hear. He can say it just as much to you and to me. Blessed are we who have seen things that others before us centuries ago never had the opportunity to understand or comprehend. Would that we had clear vision, would that we had clear hearing, so as to continue to recognize not only the signs of the times, but those indications of that glimmer of paradise that we know ultimately will take place when God returns in glory.